Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. Today I am doing center Cam Jurgens from the University of Nebraska. He is 6'3", 303 pounds. And again, me personally, I think that this guy would start over Lloyd Cushenberry instantly. I don't think it's a question. I think with Cam Jurgens, here's a guy that is very skilled in his leverage technique. I think he fits the zone running scheme perfectly. I think he needs to get better at pass protection, but I think that his a point of attack able to get to the second level is one of the best out there. He's number 51 on the screen. This is the game against Oklahoma. I know this game very well. I watched this game. I thought it was a heck of an effort from the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And the Nebraska Cornhuskers had one of the worst offensive lines in the country. Cam Jurgens was the only bright spot. Again, there's a lot of tools that he needs to refine, but if he gets proper player development, which the Broncos refuse to do, he can be a very good piece for the Denver Broncos interior of the offensive line, which I think is going to be a major weakness this year besides the likes of Quinton Miners. I don't think Dalton Reisner's regressed. But again, Cam Jurgens, the strengths that he has is the running game. He's able to get to the second level, which Lloyd Cushenberry struggles at on a consistent basis. When you look at Cam Jurgens, here's a guy that can get to the second level. His pass protection, his mind for the game is one of the best out there at center. I think that this guy will he's kind of like I would compare him to a Matt Paradis, who it gets proper development, can be your next Matt Paradis on the offensive line, which we gravely missed. We haven't had a center since Matt Paradis. But again, these are the types of things that I look for in Cam Jurgens. Cam Jurgens, yeah, he's not going to look good in terms of his pass pro, but his run blocking ability, to me, is one of the best in this year's draft. I have him third on my board for centers in this year's draft. I think that his ability to recognize blitzes is one of the best out there because that's something Lloyd Cushenberry struggles at. But again, Cam Jurgens, you saw in that play get to the second level and was able to get to the second level. Sat there, went to number 11, was able to get there. Had that had that hole right there, was able to get to the second level, get under the number 11's pads, and was able to drive him. So here were a few clips I thought were very interesting with Cam Jurgens. Again, there's a lot of development needed for him, but this guy could be an absolute stud for the Broncos if player development. I think he needs a year or two to develop. But again, if you got a Ben Jones, you could have dropped it to Cam Jurgens. But again, Cam Jurgens to me is one of my favorite centers in this year's draft. All right, this is my continued film review on Cam Jurgens. There's a lot of tools that are raw for Cam Jurgens. Number one is when he goes against big, powerful defensive linemen, he does get pushed back, but he is able to recover in some of those leverage problems that he has. But again, this is a guy that you want to get on the move. Like I said, Nebraska's offensive line was one of the worst in the country, so you can't blame Cam Jurgens for all the mistakes that Nebraska had last year. But again, Cam Jurgens, strictly talking about him, he's number 51 on this film. Again, when he goes against big, powerful guys, he does get bullied around. He's really struggled against Pawan and Winfrey. Guys like that have that big leverage technique, the movement, lower hips, was able to give him problems. But again, Cam Jurgens, right there you saw, I think he should have stayed in the middle and kind of just scoped out the area. But again, Taylor Martinez wasn't the best quarterback, but I'm not going to talk about quarterbacks. But Cam Jurgens against Oklahoma, the reason why I chose this is because Oklahoma had one of the best defensive lines in the country. And you saw Cam Jurgens right there when he pulled, was able to get there. And that's what I want. You see him right here on 51, how he was able to pull on number 1 right there. That is a very good play by Cam Jurgens. Again, you see those raw athletic traits that I like, those able to get to the second level. Pass protection needs to get better. His hand placements, I think, are one of the best in this draft in terms of when he gets his hands on you, it's really hard to get off of him. He has very good lower body quickness and lower body strength to counteract those raw athletic weaknesses that you see in this film. But again, he does get better as the game gets on, and that is something that I want to see as a player. Are you going to struggle as the whole game goes on, or are you going to get better as the game gets on? Again, you saw that in this game, in my personal opinion. You saw him get better. You saw those raw athletic traits able to show up in this film, especially in the running game. Like I said, he is not a great pass blocker, but he has the tools and the athletic traits and the leverage traits to get better at that. But his strength is get him on the move, get him pulling, able to get to the second level. His run blocking schematics in terms of his run blocking technical provisions get him better as the game goes on. And that's what I want to see. If the Denver Broncos are gonna run this zone running scheme, what did you rather have, Lloyd Cushenberry or Cam Jurgens? To me, I want a guy that's number one, can get to the second level quickly, a guy that can pull, a guy that can read defenses, which Cam Jurgens can. He can develop into your Matt Paradis. So again, this was my film review on Cam Jurgens, a guy that I'm very impressed by, and a guy at number 64. Will the Broncos take him? I think you could probably get him in day 3 in the 3rd round. So I'm very happy people are starting to talk about Cam Jurgens more, one of my favorite players in this draft. You see him right here, bam, right there. Just absolutely a physical run blocker. So this was my Cam Jurgens film review for Denver Broncos Mile High View. No commercials, no bullshit.